Someone asked me recently to describe living in Santa Fe in less than 10 minutes, and I thought, wow, what a great video to make for people who are curious. So I made this little list, and I want to very quickly tell you what it's like to actually live here. I am a native New Mexican. I grew up over on the east side of the state near Tucumcari in a small town called Logan, population 1,100, except when I was a child, the population was about 400. So I'm a small town girl. If you're moving to Santa Fe from a city, it's going to feel a little different than where you are. This is not a large urban area, depending on where you're talking about, just the city limits or the county. 79,000 to 84,000 people. This is small town, and yet it has all the amenities of a much larger town. Just so you know, I'm Bunny Terry, and I am with the Bunny Terry Group selling real estate in Santa Fe. So what's my authority? Well, for one thing, I drive around and hang out in Santa Fe all the time, but also I've wanted to live here since I was 6 years old. So I've spent a lot of time cultivating this fascination with Santa Fe. What's the landscape like? For those of you who have been here, you can just sort of tune out and go to the next section because you know what it's really like. But a lot of people haven't been here, and they somehow think that all of New Mexico looks just like Phoenix. There are no saguaros in New Mexico, and there are certainly none in Santa Fe. We're in the high desert. We're at 7,000 to 7,200 feet in elevation. You may have a moment when the altitude makes you feel a little uncomfortable if you're coming from sea level, but not to worry. There are oxygen bars all along San Francisco Street. You can buy bottles of oxygen at Walgreens, but I don't want to intimidate you about that. But I want you to remember that Santa Fe is in the high desert, which really means we're in the foothills of the Sangre de Cristos. The landscape is amazing. New Mexico, in fact, has all temperate zones except for tropical. Why couldn't I think of that? So there's a lot of varying landscape. Here's the cool thing about Santa Fe. If you're thinking about moving here and you're one of those people who says, I want to be in the alpine forest, we have that. But if you're somebody who says, I want to be right downtown in the middle of everything, I want to be so close to my neighbor that I can hear them coughing, we have that as well. Or you can choose a neighborhood that is slightly out of town, like where I live. I'm 12 minutes to downtown, and yet I have an amazing view of the mountains and the sunset. The landscape is diverse. When you're downtown, you are about a 35 to 40 minute drive to ski Santa Fe. So in the winter, you can go skiing every single day pretty easily. We wish it would snow more some winters than others, but the landscape is amazing. Are we near an airport? People seem to really care about that, and I do because I like to travel. There is a small regional airport in Santa Fe. American and United fly out of here. The three cities they fly to, four now, are LA, Phoenix, Denver, and Dallas. So you can leave here and connect to anywhere in the world, or you can just go to your four favorite cities, the ones I just named. We're an hour from the Albuquerque airport, and if you don't want to take your car down there, there is a shuttle that runs 19 times a day. I'm happy to provide you with that information. What about culture? I mean, is Santa Fe an interesting place to live? I would say I think it's the most interesting place to live. We have three very diverse cultures here: Native American, Hispanic, and the Anglos. But there are people here from all over the world. I hear languages downtown that I absolutely have no idea what they are. So please know that this is a very welcoming and very diverse population. The other thing is the culture, as in what do you do for fun? We have amazing art museums. We are the third largest art market in the world in the United States, behind New York and LA. Canyon Road is less than a mile long and has over 100 galleries, amazing galleries. There is there's something to do here every single night. In fact, if you want to sign up for our weekly guide to what's happening in Santa Fe every weekend, we're happy to do that. Just say so in the comments. Just say, I want the guide, in the comments below. But one of the coolest things that I found that I didn't know until I moved here is that there is some type of live music in Santa Fe every single night. Anything from Desert Chorale to John Batiste showing up for a concert, to theater at the Lindsay, to live music at the Cowgirl. You never know where there's going to be live music, and it is as broad and diverse as the people who live here. What's the climate like? I think it's the best. I spent 1 year in North Carolina, which was a shock to me because I had never seen bugs that size. Not dissing North Carolina, it's beautiful in its own way, but we don't have bugs. We really don't. I mean, you may have some ants in your kitchen in the summertime and some fruit flies late in August, but we spend an inordinate amount of time living outdoors because there are no insects. One of the magical things about our climate. The other thing is that we have a distinct 4 seasons, but none of them are severe. And there are very seldom days that we're under 20 degrees, under freezing actually. It does snow here, and some winters are more severe than others. A lot of people who move here are worried about what are the roads going to be like when it snows. Because we have over 320 days of sunshine every year, the roadways are usually warm when it snows, but if they're not, they get cleared quickly. There are a lot more days that schools have a 2-hour delay than days when there's a full snow day, because a 2-hour delay is just depending on the sun to come out and melt the roadways. So, no severe weather. I can't say we've never had a tornado, but I don't know that we've ever had a tornado. In terms of natural disasters, Santa Fe is one of the best places to land. There are wildfires nearby. We have had wildfires over in the Jemez Mountains and in the Pecos, some up north. When you live in a place that is as heavily wooded as some parts of Santa Fe County are, that's always a concern. I will say that we're very wildfire conscious here, and the city has done a really good job of helping residents clear underbrush and make sure that their homes are as safe as possible. And honestly, insurance companies now are making us safer because they're making us eliminate homes that might be a threat from, depending on the insurance company, either 5 feet or 15 feet from the home. So, while we don't love that, I don't love having to get rid of my beautiful pinon trees that are close to the house. I understand the need. So, not many natural disasters in Santa Fe. Oh, wait a second. Can I just talk about the food? I mean, what are the 10 best things about moving here? I don't even know how many I've said. But the food has to be in the top 5. A city this size with this number of amazing restaurants and James Beard winners and James Beard finalists can't be all wrong. And if you're thinking that when you come to Santa Fe, you're only going to get to eat enchiladas and red and green chili, think again. This is a place that has amazing food. I've just shared with you a lot of the magic of living in Santa Fe, and I hope that some of it has resonated with you. And if you're curious, give me a call. I'm here to help.